right. So, hi. Hi everyone. Really sorry about kind of poofing there. Uh I feel like I have some explaining to do and some context before I get into the thick of this video. I'm also very tired. But I honestly feel like if I don't do this audio as fresh in my mind now, I might end up taking longer to do this video, and that's not something I want to do. In fact, it's the exact opposite of what I want to do. So, let's get into it. Um, I obviously know I don't technically owe anybody an explanation to things. I know I technically don't need to worry about blah 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 blah. But it comes down to I want to. I know I don't have to. I want to because I'm a person that likes understanding things. And as someone who is on the spectrum, sometimes I like people just to be blunt. And, being blunt is easier for me to process. And so that's where we are here. So obviously this is going to be very personal and things going on in the future and explaining a couple things and talk about a couple more things. So let's just get the big thing that's sticking out right now, and that is what happened to Artemis. I had a lot of stuff planned. I had a lot of backup audio. I ended up having not as much backup footage as I originally had thought. And I was like, oh, that's not going to be too bad. I'm going to have time to edit things. But I ended up having a lot of family problems going on. And it was coming down to a point where there were family members on every side, like multiple people that were going into the hospital, coming out of the hospital, having issues, getting in accidents, getting sick, getting the vid. All of that was piling on. And then there was a lot of things with my health and my husband's health. And a lot of. It's so aggravating when you have things working out and you have things planned and things are looking good and the universe just decides not today. One day in particular. So with all that being said, oh my god, why am I so dry throat? With that being said, I didn't have the time that I thought I was going to have. And it also came down to there's a lot of things I need to prepare for because there's a lot of things coming in 2020. And normally this would be the cool thing where, you'd have a person be like, oh my god, stay tuned, guys. So many cool things are going to happen in 2020. We're planning, I keep saying 2020, 2022. That's going to also take me a hot second. A real hot second to understand. So let's just start at the beginning. So earlier this year, and by this year I mean 2021, me and my friends had this big Renaissance Fair trip planned. And I worked really hard to get everything to work out, and it did, and I had a blast. I had so much fun. I have a vlog up on this channel all about it. And I was very excited, and I was originally like, I can give myself a week to get back to things. And I ended up actually getting into a very bad depressive episode. And so because that 1 week ended up turning into 2 weeks, and my work started to suffer from it. So then the stress of being behind started to set in, and I had to work a lot. And then shortly after that, I ended up getting very sick. It wasn't the vid, but it ended up being where my husband got really sick, and then I got really sick. And so our apartment became such a disaster zone that I need to stop lying to myself. And I'm gonna be real. I didn't want to vlog it because I had a lot of stuff going on in the background, but my house was such a, no pun intended, disaster. I was embarrassed and I was so overwhelmed by the mess and the clutter that I just didn't want to deal with it on top of everything else going on. So, my husband and I decided, we had a long conversation that, because he ended up getting a week off for Christmas going into New Year's. And so, because of that, we decided, because we already knew we were going to have friends come over for New Year's, that we were going to deep clean the apartment. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is important context. I do have a back injury. I was in a terrible car crash a few years ago with a friend of mine who is kind of not really on YouTube anymore, but she and I are very close. And it was a situation where in the car crash, I didn't realize how hurt I was until it was a little too late. And then I didn't have the money to get it checked out because, I live in America. And so, because of that and my weight, I have terrible back issues and pain sometimes. So it gets to things where, on top of that and the being overwhelmed and everything, I literally can only do things in short bursts. And when things end up happening where the clutter's too bad, I can't do it in short bursts. So in a way, I end up relieving my stress, but knocking me out. And so that's what sort of ended up happening was on Christmas Eve, we started it. My husband got sick. So I had to do nearly 8 to 9 hours of constant work, which I know for some people must be like, look at this person complaining. 8 or 9 hours of physical labor and that knocking you down. Yeah, because I have a back injury. I am by the definition disabled. I have a disability, and it really sucks. And I've torn with the fact that I also had to stop my therapy at the tail end of 2021. I started therapy in 2021, and then because of, again, I live in America, I couldn't have it anymore, and I was very lucky to have such a good therapist for the time that I did. But so because of that, I now didn't have therapy. I had to deal with my things. I had to use mechanisms I was like, informed about and taught, on top of a lot of other things happening. And then on top of all of that, this might sound like a weird place to put it, but I feel like it is important. Uh, my husband and I went through a very drastic life change. I've talked about this on streams. I've talked about this like on social media and like places, but I never made like an outright big post about it. But and this might seem very ironic to people who found a really old video of mine, but my husband and I are now in a poly relationship, and it is something that we both never saw happening. Um, we never thought we would be in this situation. We never thought we would get feelings for another person. And so, on top of, everything else, we are now starting a new relationship with a very dear personal friend that I have known for many years and I have loved. And now, am dating. Um, and so that's a whole new adventure in ballpark because sadly a thing too with that is it is a long distance thing. We only get to see each other a couple times a year in general. So with that happening, it's adding whole new stressors to just life. And to clarify, this is a throuple, so it is we are all dating each other. It's not like I'm with my husband and then I'm dating someone else, or he's with my husband's with me and then he's dating someone else. We are all collectively a OTP and OTP. So that's a whole new thing of emotions, and that's been honestly amazing. It's been one of the best things. But on top of that, that also comes with its own stress because now it's like, oh, starting a new relationship, in a new relationship with an old friend. So that's where it's also very complicated. Um, and I'd also, this will be a whole other video, like, in the future. I don't want to bog it down here, but I've had things going on with my sexuality recently, which, as many people in the LGBTQIA plus community, we know when that stuff can like change or more things come into clarity. You kind of have a mini crisis about that on top of real things. And something that my therapist helped me out with when I was there was that I downplay a lot of my own insecurities and my own like ailments that I cannot control, because we've grown up in a society where like if you have an invisible disability, you're not like really disabled to terrible people, or oh, you're not disabled, you just have XYZ or stuff like that. So it comes it's a hard thing for me to come to terms with the fact that, like, oh yeah, no, I do have a disability. I do have a bad back from a terrible car crash I was in that actually does inhibit my like daily life, and so when it came down to that and the stress and everything, my husband and I ended up going full wham, and so we ended up not resting well. Because another thing too is if you have a depression cave, as we put it, it's things need to get dirtier before they can get better. And so, because you need to get things out, clean areas, organize things, clean things through. And it's actually why I ended up doing a studio, figure quote, desk tour that should be going up, if not next week, then the week after. But yeah, look out for that. And I probably won't be vlogging again. At least the time of recording this, I won't be vlogging for at least a week or two, because I've just got a lot of work I need to handle on. So on top of all of that, we then had our friend vacation to do. So we had, did the cleaning on Christmas Eve, and then on Christmas we spent it with my family. And it turns out that we thought that one of my fathers-in-law, we thought we're sort of overreacting a sickness, and then it turned out that it's actually very severe, and one of my in-laws has literally not been out of the ICU since Christmas, and that's been messing with a lot of us, and it's not looking good. I should also reiterate, it's not the vid. It is, it has to do with his brain, and that's all I'm comfortable saying right now, and it's been extremely upsetting. And so that adds a whole new stress to things. And then we had friends flying out, and I kid you not, on the second day, so after the travel day, so like our first real day together, where it was me, Cody, Holly, and Morgan, we ended up having a thing where my husband got the terrible phone call, and another friend of mine got a terrible phone call literally in the same day. And I'm not comfortable sharing what happened with my girlfriend, but it ended up being very severe. It's not my place to talk about it. I don't think it's her place to talk about it. Don't ask. But it came down to, wow, a lot of stuff is trying to really knock people out of 2021. It's really trying to really break people down. So with that being said, I'm also a certain problematic YouTuber on this platform in the people thinker in the art community, but I never considered them a part of that, but that might just be me and a bias, and I will admit that. I will not be making a video on that. There are tons out there. You can look into those. Please do not ask. I made a post on Twitter, and I made a post on my community tab about that, because I had when it dropped on New Year's Eve, a lot of people were messaging me about that when I was going through a lot of stuff, and I was honestly trying to enjoy my vacation with my friends and my new partner. And we did. We had an amazing time. I had so much fun. I'll put like a clip here that I put on Twitter because it was really funny, so you can have that.
This is Acrobats, Morgan. I'm going to show you some Acrobats.
Okay, no,
I can't.
No,
okay.
I want to show everyone your drawing.
Wait, Anna, go. Okay, let's do this. I want to see this.
This is the hole.
Don't break the chair.
That is me getting out of the hole.
Yes.
This is me. This is me.
That's not
this
what you're
is me.
describing. That's what you keep saying. No,
Do that.
if you're doing that, then yes. But what What you were describing was that you were clinging. Look at this picture. Literally, that her leg is wrapped around the rope and she's dangling.
Morgan,
in the
Morgan,
air.
show me the show.
No, your leg
Show
is
me the
over
sketch
the edge
book.
of the hole.
I want to get this man.
All right, we're gonna roll an acrobats. If your legs are on the edge of the hole, then no. But if you are dangling
Binks!
in the air from the rope, that is an acrobatics thing. Like you drew.
I don't have feather fall.
I do.
I don't. But it was something that we all really, really, really needed. And it was amazing. We got to go on such amazing adventures while they were here. But the universe kept trying to, like, beat us down. Like, all of us, including my other friend. And it came down to a point where literally it was like, all right, y'all, you can't have too much fun. With that being said, though, I'm not taking that negativity into 2022. Obviously, I'm not just, like, ignoring terrible, traumatic, borderline traumatizing experiences with family members and friends and stuff, that's coming into the year. But I'm not letting it just destroy me. And so, with that being said, I also feel like I should explain this here because this is going to drastically change a lot of things that I had planned. Because as it turns out, by the end of 2022, me and my husband might be moving. We might be moving to another state as things are going. I will not go into details at this time, but it's one of those things where it's a great thing, but also a bad thing. So, because that's literally, like, I would say, with everything going on and what we all talked about and other things that happened, it is a, 80% chance the move is happening this year. And if not, it's going to definitely happen in 2023. So because of that, that now changes a lot of things for me. Well, on top of everyone else involved. But because I wanted to do conventions this year. And I already had gotten into one with a friend of mine. So that's already been paid for. So I need to be careful that, the stars align with that. And it sucks in this sense because I really wanted to do more conventions this year. I really wanted to do more art shows. But that just means I get to work harder on my shop. That also means, because of everyone involved, and now my partner and my spouse, might need to make money pretty fast, and faster than I do on normal social media. So, I'm gonna point this here now. If there are sporadic dips in my YouTube content, and, well, my TikToks are already all over the place, in, like, my Twitter, my art, my Patreon, I'm gonna do my best to keep everyone updated because I like keeping people updated. But it may come down to Mama might need to get some side jobs to help pay for a cross-country move. Because it's not even like, oh, we're moving to, like, a state over where it's only, like, a 4 or 5 hour drive. No, like, we're gonna have to, there's a lot that's gonna have to go into it. There's a lot of stuff we're gonna have to sell. There's a lot of things that we're gonna have to do, and then I have to deal with tax season because if any of you guys know and you're self-employed, I've already been paying my taxes on PayPal, so this doesn't affect me too much. I just have to hope that if they send me that in the mail, it doesn't get lost because they've been having that kind of problem lately with a lot of my tax information, which, makes me feel great about that. That's sarcasm though, by the way, as a tone indicator. And so I'm like, oh great, and tax season is coming up, so that's glorious. But yeah, PayPal in America, and I think like a couple other countries are now having it that if you've made more than $600 this year, guess what, Biddy Babs, you gotta have to pay taxes on that. And so you better be careful, because I know a lot of people that have that very much make more than $600, but make less than their, like, state or province's, like, basic tax limit to claim it. So, It's going to be a fun tax season this year. Not really. It's going to be extra stressful, but so with that, I'm going to be working more on my online shop and things like that. But I wanted to give the warning here now that if I just kind of poof for a bit, this isn't a shell. It would be easier to follow me on my Twitter and my Instagram. I'm active there. Realistically, the most I would like to think I'm not. I am. I'm going to stop lying to myself. I will do my best to make videos here and there. I will do my best to do everything else now. But 2022 is looking like a whole new, like, literal, like, you know what everyone's like, it's a new chapter in the book. No, I feel like my life, the book got thrown out, and now I've got a whole new book in front of me. That's just, we're just gonna go balls to the wall and right by the seat of our pants. And I'm just like, ooh, well, I guess I'll hold on for the ride. So, with that being said, I love you guys so much. I hope you all had a really good new year. Like I said, a lot of terrible stuff happened, but it didn't ruin my trip, didn't ruin my time with my friends. I had an amazing new year and New Year's Eve, and we have new New Year's traditions and new adventures to behold and a whole new book in my life to start. And I'm really excited about that. And I'm excited to do more with my YouTube, with you guys, with things I care about, and also just my life in general. So let me know what you guys did for New Year's, or if you had anything drastic, or if that last couple days of 2021 just tried to just destroy you, because I know it did for a lot of people. I'd like to know in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and I will, as always, see you guys next time, whenever that will be. Bye bye.